Okay, hi everybody.
Hello.
Hope you can see us and hear us okay. Let us know if that is the truth. And we'll just give everybody a couple of a second or two to get tuned in on here. Hello, Dana. Geez, Dana, you're the first one on today. That's unusual. And hi, Laura. And hi, Patsy.
Well, it
Mississippi's
can't be as
chilly.
chilly as us.
Yeah. Of course, Dana, it's probably colder out where Dana is, but in Regina. What is it here?
It's minus 10 Celsius, which
It's
is
balmy.
14 degrees Fahrenheit.
It's balmy. Balmy, balmy, balmy. Hi, Angel.
Don't lick the metal pole.
Yeah. Why? Don't you a tongue stuck on the metal pole, yeah. Hi, Cindy. Great, Laura. I'm glad you can see and hear us. That's good to know. Hi, Glenna. Happy Sunday. Is it a happy Sunday? I don't know.
It's a cold Sunday.
It's a cold Sunday. Hi, Edie.
Hi, Edie, Lena, Cindy, Laura, Angel, Patsy.
And we're just giving another couple
Hey,
seconds
Dana.
here before we get in and see who else is joining us today. Patsy says, sounds good, only 45 degrees Fahrenheit.
Well, it's warmer than here.
Yep.
We're at 15.
Hi, Suzanne.
15 Fahrenheit, minus 10 Celsius.
Hi, Anita.
It's chilly.
Jeannie. Jeannie. Hi, Jeannie. I don't think I've seen you on here before, Jeannie, but nice of you to join us. Plus 2 degrees.
Plus 20.
No, 2 degrees.
Oh.
See, rain and snow. Okay. Good
Well,
combination.
you're warmer.
Yeah. Hi, Tracy. And so, okay, well, I guess we'll say hello to whoever comes in as we get going here, but I guess it's time to get going. We don't have a lot to talk about today, so maybe you guys
We had a huge dump of snow this week, though.
Oh, yeah, we did. Actually, I have some pictures of
Like
what
we
that...
had some place that's got as much as 50 centimeters, which is about 20 inches.
I think I got a couple of pictures here I can show.
We had a lot.
Yeah, for us, it was a lot. Okay, so let me just switch this over so you can see what we're talking about. Okay, so that was looking out the front window of our house with one of my cameras. That's what greeted us on that was Monday morning, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was Monday morning.
Yeah, it was snowing. It was blowing for quite a while. Walter spent most of the day outside plowing.
Yeah, I plowed our driveway with I normally, if we only get a couple of inches of snow, I don't bother taking the snowblower out, but I took the snowblower out and plowed our driveway, and I helped a couple of the neighbors with their driveway. And then the snowplow came around, put a great big huge pile of snow back on the end of my driveway. So I blew out our driveway, and then I went over to a couple of the neighbors and helped them. You know, they either didn't have a snowblower
Or we do have a lot of older people in this neighborhood.
yeah, there's
older
a
than
couple
us.
older people around, so we were helping out. My neighbor was doing the same thing, and then to other neighbors. And then the snowplow came around a second time and put more snow in front of the driveway. So I did the whole process all over again.
And here's what Walter looked like out in the snow. I posted that picture with one of my gnomes and said, "Can you see a difference? I can't." Yeah,
There you get an idea of how much snow there was.
Yeah, after you bailed it out. So, yeah, we don't usually get that much snow in one dumping here, but yeah, we had it this time. So let me just
On top of that, it was cold.
yeah. Put us back in the scene here. Go back. Oh, actually, I have a little movie of it showing you what it looked like as it was. Oops, overshot here. Let me see if I can find this.
There we go.
Second, back it up. Back it up. Okay, let's screen. So this is looking from our deck. And there's the snow blowing away. So, yep. And it was piled quite high on the deck. In fact, you went out, what, the next day and shoveled off the deck?
I shoveled off a lot of it. I didn't get all of it off, but because it was getting pretty heavy, but I wanted to get it before it got really cold outside. And it went right all the way up the front door, so the back door. So I wanted to get rid of some of that. And I got rid of most of it.
Yeah, so it was quite the slump, but we still have snow here now, but we don't have as much as that. It has melted away, but it's been cold. So there, I was showing you what it looked like up our side of our patio doors. So, yeah. Oh well, it's winter. What can you what do you think is going to happen? Oops. Yeah, frosty northern Canada. So let's just get. Okay, let me out of this, please. Sprinkle. And go back over where I want to be.
Bring up the...
What? Yeah, it's here. Right there.
I
oh,
know
yeah,
that I
there. Yeah,
can't
okay.
see, yeah.
I know you can't see whatever. There we go. All right, so we got a lot of people here. Let's back it up and see. Donna's here. Hi, Donna. And B. Hi, B. And Margaret. And Jan. And Eileen. And Marilyn. And Jeannie. Hi, Jeannie. I think I said hello to Patsy, but I'll say it again. Tracy. Wendy's here. Hi, Wendy. And Judy.
Yeah. I actually helped snowblow one of the neighbors across the road, and these are people that get everything upgraded in their house. And they're always got people, workmen there, upgrading their house, doing all kinds of stuff to their house, and they don't have a snowblower.
Hi, Penny. Yeah.
And they were having trouble clearing the snow, and so I always end up being a sucker and feeling sorry for them, going over and helping them out.
Yeah. Hi, Adrian. Hi, Em. Well, it depends on how you look at it, Em, whether you're late or not. We usually start around 4 o'clock our time, so I'm not sure what time that is where you are. But yeah, but better late than never. And Karen's here from balmy Arkansas, USA. 50 degrees. Okay, rub it in. Yeah, 50 degrees sounds really hot. And Lynn is here. Hi, Lynn.
That's okay. We're January and February where it's always cold here. So.
Yeah. Yeah, I used to love the winter when I was a kid. I don't now. Nope, I'd rather it was warm all year round, but
yes and no. I don't know. I think we'd miss it, actually.
well, I don't know. I don't know if I'd miss it, but whatever. Well, you like to frolic out in the snow. You're out there blowing everybody's driveway and up and down the street, meeting all the neighbors and whatnot.
Well, you don't help.
I don't do snow. I'm sorry, I don't. I figure God put it there. God will eventually take it away. You know, July will come eventually. We're only like 6 months away from it, so don't have to worry much. So anyways, yes, we do have a forest behind here. We really do. I've told people that before. It's not just a couple of trees. It is a forest.
Yeah, it is.
It's a Boy Scout reserve, actually. And it used to be part of the estate of Robert McLaughlin, who was the head of or the president of GM Canada at the time, because we live in GM town here in Oshawa. So Angel says, unless the house is on fire, I'm not going outside to even feel the cold. Yep.
Yeah, I don't know. Just put on a couple nice warm coats and you're okay.
Yeah, dress like a gnome for the snow.
Yeah.
Gnome in the snow. How come you're up so much higher than me?
Because my stool is up high.
Well, push your stool down as opposed to pushing it in. Whatever. Hi, Teresa. So anyways, yeah, we had lots of snow this week, and it's supposed to be, I don't know if it's supposed to warm up this week or not.
I don't know. I haven't really checked the forecast.
But anyway, so what's Walter working on? He's supposed to be working on my shirt. Guess how far he's gotten?
Well, I've been plowing the driveway all week.
Not all week.
No, I know, but I did get the sleeves in.
Well, you had plenty of time to go to Crappy Tire this afternoon, didn't you?
I know, and I had to rethread my search.
I mean, a day without you going to Crappy Tire is like a day with me not getting an order from Amazon. I mean,
I've been puttering around doing other things, so.
Oh, putter. What is this putter you talk of? What do you do when you putter? Describe puttering.
Puttering.
Putter. Putt, putt, putt. Do you have a little putter to putter with? I don't see you with your putter out puttering them out. Whatever. Puttering. All I do is I see you sitting there staring at a screen all day long. Of course, you're a day trader, so, you know, like, you're in there checking your stocks, your millions, yeah, and everything. So, but I don't see my shirt yet.
No, I know.
I don't see.
It's
I
getting
finished a quilt and a table runner and started another project all that
but
time.
you're Mr. I'm working on it till 5 o'clock in the morning, and
What? I don't work on it till 5 o'clock in the
you
morning.
start at 5 o'clock in the morning.
I don't start at 5 o'clock. I start around 6. Depends on what time I get up out of bed. But anyway, so there's nothing, you have nothing to show us.
Mm-mm.
Well, you're boring. Well, I have things to show.
I'll show next week.
Oh, yeah, you say. Yeah, you say. So I've been working on some things too. So find the pictures. Now, I showed you this last week, I believe, but I've made an improvement on it due to the fact that I was shamed into doing that. This is the Little Town quilt. And I don't know if you remember last week when I showed it. It had this border, this outside border, but it didn't have this white inside border. I got the hiccups now. And so after I got this border on, the outside border, before I put this one on, I was looking at it and I thought, you know, I probably should have put a skinny little white border all the way around just to give a little bit more distance between the houses, the edges of the houses, and the actual border itself. And so I pointed this out to Walter, and he goes, yeah, I think you should have done that. And then I discussed it.
I didn't like it. But it was up to you. You're well.
So I did it. Well, somebody else online, like I was talking about that, mentioned they thought it might be a little nicer with the border in there.
Well, the houses sort of ended up blending into the border.
Yeah. Well, I'm happy now that it's there, and I'm glad that I ripped the borders off and put those ones in. So it's done. And here's what the final version looks like with the quilting and the binding. So the binding's all on it, and here's my quilting. And I did it as a pantograph. And I debated whether I should use something that had straight lines, because this is fairly linear, the quilt itself. And oftentimes, you know, it's not really a rule, but sometimes it's suggested that if you have a lot of straight lines and angles, that when you do your quilting, soften a little bit by using something with curves and things like that. Well, this sort of did have curves because the edges of the little rectangles on here are curved. So it doesn't matter. It's done. I'm happy with the way it looks. So, and I am glad I put that little white border on the outside of it because, you know, somebody would complain a lot about that.
I think it looks better.
Well, I'm glad you like it's better. Let's get back here to the other screen. Okay. Teresa says puttering is like golf, a way to kill an afternoon pretending to do something. Yeah, well, he putters a lot. Puttling here in the UK. Puttling. Oh, okay. Tracy says, nice quilt. I do love it with the white border. Yep. Well, I'm not pulling it apart. So yeah.
Hi, Andy.
Is Andy here? Hi, Andy. Oh, Betty's here too. Hi, Betty. Thank you, Betty. Thank you, Anita. And Angel. And Karen's here. Hi, Karen. Yep. Yeah, okay, so I guess everybody is giving me the thumbs up on that one. So, yeah, I guess it was worth ripping. It wasn't that hard to rip the borders off, but I had to extend them then because the fabric was already cut to length, and then I made the quilt slightly bigger with the extra borders. So, thanks, Penny. Jan says, you know, Stephen, Walter purposely pushes your buttons. Your quilt is beautiful. No, he pushes everybody's buttons. He's just like that, except he pushes more of my buttons than other people. I mean, no, that's right. He'd only do this to me. He doesn't do it to anybody else. We know.
I don't talk to anybody else.
That's true. You talk to all the neighbors when you're out there plowing.
No, I don't really talk to them. First of all, you can't talk to anybody when your snowblower is going because it's too loud. How do you know? You haven't used snowblower in years.
That's because I used it when I worked. And you weren't home when I come home from school, and I was plowing it out and stuff like that. Yeah, so it's your turn now. That's the way I look at it. I said to you, I don't have a problem. snow. It'll melt. It gets warm. Won't be cold forever. Oh, Margaret's here from Australia. Hi, Margaret. And we do love Australia. And I'll bet you've got nice weather right
But
now.
you don't have any snow.
Yeah. Yeah. We were looking at some of our pictures from Australia the other day and from our last trip and went, we kind of wish we were there now, in a way. Teresa says, pushing buttons is a spouse's job. Yeah, well, you can't push Walter's buttons because he gets grumpy. If you push one of his buttons, he yells at you. So don't push the button. It's like he only has one button, panic. So, but anyway, so that's what I was working on, that quilt, and I have more to show. There is a friend of ours, well, you know Shirley. I've told you about Shirley, who's the owner of Ultimate Sewing. Oh yeah, I didn't show you the back of the quilt. This is the back of the quilt, the backing I use. And that's the same fabric that I used on the binding as well. You can't really see the quilting all that well because I used a purpley colored thread that kind of blends into it. I've got to get over doing that. I got to be bolder on the backs of my quilts. I have this thing, though, if I get too bold and I make a big mistake, then you'll see it. But then again, it's the back of the quilt, so you just don't show anybody the back. And when this one, I think I showed you this one last week.
Yeah, I think you
Yeah,
did.
I did that. So this is stuff. Now, this is a new project. I just finished this one yesterday. It was a quickie. It was a table runner. It's Laura on So Very Sleazy. So Very Easy. Yeah, So Very Sleazy. So Very Easy. This was a free pattern from Riley Blake, and it's supposedly like a Valentine's one because those are hearts. The blue things, those are hearts. And she was, of course, making hers all out of red and pinks and things like that for Valentine's Day. I'm not really a biggie in Valentine's Day stuff, but I kind of thought the pattern was kind of interesting, and I had this butterfly fabric. So I made it out of that. And I don't know, I'm just going to put it in my stash of stuff that could be potential gifts for people. Like, you know, if we ever get invited anytime for dinner to somebody's place, which may never happen again. You know, I could take this over and give it as a hostess gift kind of a thing or whatever. I just did wavy line walking foot quilting on it. So like I said, it was a quickie. I did it all in pretty much one day. I just needed a break from making a quilt. I wanted something fast and easy, and that was fast and easy. But anyways, back to these gnomes. Oh, those are water cans. No. Okay, this is what I want to show you. So I had made one of, well, you know, I'm into gnomes. So I'd made one of my gnomes and I posted it on Facebook. And Shirley wrote, oh, I'd love one of those. I'll pay you for it, or Trajan fabric or something. So I said, well, we'll see what we can do. Well, I'm not going to have her pay me for it, and I'm not having her pay me in fabric because, I mean, Shirley's really been good to us since we started quilting and sewing and everything. So I decided to make her a little gnome set. She won't be expecting this, and I don't think she watches this, so she'll never know, hopefully. So I started off with my rainbow ones. Each one's a little different size here. And then I branched out and decided to make a little, this could be a pencil holder or a flower pot, like for putting like a philodendron or something in. That's out of marble filament. I really love marble filament. And this is actually, I adapted two models and merged them together to create this. This could be a cell phone holder, or what I'm suggesting to her is, I noticed she has a bunch of her business cards sitting on the, at her cash register, but they're kind of in a very boring little acrylic thing, you know? So I made this, so she can put her business cards in this and this can sit up by her cash register. And then these are trivets, you know, hot mats. So I found this on an embroidery site, and I made her 3 of those. So I've put it all in a great big box, and I wrote a little thing up about these being magical gnomes and what they will do and what you can use them for and things like that. A little bit of humor in there. So I've got them all wrapped up in a box, and I have the instructions on top of the box on the inside. And next week we'll take them over to Ultimate Sewing, and she'll get a kick out of this. She won't be expecting that. And I like to keep people unawares. I like to surprise them. So let me see, what do I want to do? I want to go back to that camera, and I want to go over here. So we can set. So back it up here, catch up what people are saying. When I switch over to the screens, we can't see the conversation. Anita says, a friend of mine is in Florida at Disney and wearing a winter coat and mittens. Okay, are they having a cold snap there? Margaret says, yes, we have. Yes, we have. I live at, is it Coots or Coates?
Coots
Crossing in North South Wales, near Grafton in Australia. I don't think we were near those two places. I don't know when we traveled. Might have been. Laura says, love the color of the back of the quilt. I saw the video of the heart table runner and want to download that pattern also. Yeah, it's a freebie. So, and she's got it listed on her site. Thank you, Glenna. I just printed off the table runner pattern yesterday. Yeah, it's easy to make. It's kind of fun. Karen says, you're invited to my house for dinner anytime. I think there's a catch. I probably have to bring a table runner, don't I? Yeah. Patsy loves the gnomes. It's great. And Mark says also loves the gnomes. Cute. Yeah, I kind of like that too. In fact, I've made two of them. One of them I've got holding sticky pads over by my sewing cutting table. No, you can't go wrong with gnomes. But you know, after a while, it's becoming like trivets, you know, or trifles. What was that thing in Star Trek, the old version? The Trouble with Tribbles?
Tribbles, yeah.
Was it Tribbles? Hi, Marilyn. So yeah, that's what I've been up to. And I just started a new project today. Don't ask me why, but I saw something and there was a quilt.
It's, Coots Crossing is there.
It's below Brisbane.
And between Brisbane and Sydney.
Oh, okay. We may have gone by it when we were on our way to Brisbane. Yeah. Anyways, I saw this on something, and it seems to be a bit of a trend. People making these quilts that look like bookshelves with books all on them and everything. And I thought it was kind of cute. So I did a little search looking for patterns. And of course, I was looking for free patterns because you know me, I'm cheap when it comes to that. But I was looking for, you know, because I wasn't sure if I'd really do it. And then I got thinking, I wonder if there's ones done in the hoop on your embroidery machine, because it looked like a lot of people have put titles of books on the book spines on the quilts. And I thought, how did they do that? They probably embroidered those, and they may have done hand embroidery. And I was thinking, well, I won't be doing that because I can't hand embroider. So I went looking, and I found on Sweet Pea. Sweet Pea is a embroidery site. I think I've gotten something once from them before. And they had a video showing you how to put it together and everything, which was a very good video. It wasn't particularly cheap, but as files go for embroidery, it wasn't that bad. It was about $30 Canadian. So I bought it, and I made my first block. And this is what the first block looks like. And each of the blocks is different. And you can make as many as you want. This is going to be a wall hanging when I get it done. It's on the same kind of scale as those ones that are right behind me. Those ones that have the, you know, they call them tiles and you put them together. Well, that's how this will work as well. But I think it's going to look kind of cute when I get it done. So that's my project at the moment. But I think I can't sit and do machine embroidery forever because it gets a little bit boring because you sit there and watch the machine. And then on this, you have to put down the different fabrics because it's an applique. And so I'll probably start cutting up the fabric that I've got for my next project. I've already selected the fabrics for it, and it's a type of Bargello quilt that I'm going to make. So I'll work on two at once. Not unusual. I do that at times. So anyways, that's what's next. Yes, that's it, Angel. Angel, you always read my mind, come up with the stuff I forget. That's where I saw it. On Missouri Star. Yeah, they had one there too. Now you need that tile ruler. Yeah, I don't know, Patsy. I've looked into it, and the way that I cut them is not that difficult. So I don't know. I mean, if they were a Canadian company and they were handy, I would probably consider it. But I don't know. I'm not. I know what it is though. What you're talking about. I may have to look at it again. Okay. Do we have somebody that looks like we have a crazy Russian on here? Vor no go. We've had bad experiences with Russians, so we're just going to remove this person. Remove. Bye-bye. You could copy book bindings on inkjet printer cloth paper. Yeah, that's an idea. Margaret says she loves Sweet Pea designs, and that little quilt is beautiful. Yeah, well, it's going to be more than that. This is just one block in the quilt, in the wall hanging. Oh, do they, Patsy? Yeah, I watch Power Tools every now and then, so I may have to check that out again and reassess my opinion on that. Now the thing Margaret says, you could copy book bindings on inkjet printer cloth paper. Yeah, you could. Yeah, you could do that. That's an idea. I hesitate about printing on fabric. Of course, on a wall hanging, you're not going to wash it, so you'd be okay. If it was something you were actually going to wash, I would be leery of it. There are ways you can get it so it's permanent, but my printer, the ink that's in it, I've tested, is not permanent ink. Water will make it wash out. Now, there are ways you can treat it, but it's fairly elaborate. And I have the stuff for doing that. I bought it some time ago and experimented with it, and it does work. But I kind of, unless I was making a real art type quilt, which I've not yet done, really, then yeah, I could see spending the time and the effort on doing something like that with your printer and, you know, making sure it was water fast or permanent. Are you putting a cat on one of your shelves? I don't know yet. That would mean applique. There are it's not just all books on the shelves in this pattern. There's some of them have a couple of books and a flower vase, and then there's some other different things they've built in there. But I don't think they had one on this particular one. I don't think they did a cat.
Can you change the names of the books?
Yeah, I probably could. Well, there's other books. It's not just these.
Yeah.
There's a whole Shakespeare section. That was one thing that attracted me to it as well. Yeah, there's other ones and classics on it. So, but I can go into the embroidery machine, and I could, if I wanted to customize, put something else on it. And who knows, I might on some of them. Maybe I'll put one in with my name on it. The Book of Bland.
You could buy a book called The Idiot Quilter.
Mm-hmm. Well, aren't you people just full of ideas for all of this? Well, when you guys make your own, I'll be sure to give you suggestions. No, I'm just kidding. There are good suggestions. I have to think about it. This is a work in process, right? Kathleen says, hi, Kathleen. I've done a memory quilt with photos that were printed. The directions said to Scotch guard it 2 times. I hope that works. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I never thought of Scotch guard.
Tracy Williams, what embroidery machine are you using now?
550E. The Janome 550E. It's the one that's right behind Walter.
Yeah, really maybe see.
No, here, wait just a second. That's the embroidery machine right there. So, yeah, it's the 550E. I got rid of the 15,000, as everybody pretty much well knows. Yeah, Jen says must have cats. Yeah, actually, I might. I can always do an applique cat, or I could possibly go in and embroider a cat. Actually, that's an idea. I could do that in place of maybe one of the little things. They have one that's got a cactus. Instead of the cactus, I could do a cat in that spot instead. Okay. That's an idea. Hi, Billy. I printed on fabric before, then let it set for a week, then press wax paper over it, and that's how I do pictures on it. Interesting. Okay, lots of techniques here for that kind of stuff. But like I said, I have a couple of bottles of stuff that are supposed to make your ink permanent. Like you treat your fabric first with this one product and let it dry, and then you run it through your printer and print on it, and then you heat press it, and that sets it, and that's supposed to work. And then there's something called strepacol, something like that. And if you wash the fabric with that after you've printed on it or something, it'll take some of the color out, but it'll make it like it, if it's overprinted. I'd have to look at stuff. I haven't looked at that stuff for a while. Or use one of your photos from your cat. Yes, I could do that too. That's an idea, Dana. Our baby. Our baby's been gone for a while. Lots of good suggestions. Thanks, guys. Janome M says Janome 9450 and S7 have freehand embroidery function. The S7 freehand embroidery.
Neither one of them have programmed embroidery.
No.
Because you have an S7.
Yeah.
And you would have to.
You could use decorative stitches.
Yeah.
On that. But I'm not absolutely sure. I have the S7 and I'm not sure what you mean by freehand embroidery. You're not talking about free motion quilting, are you? I'll have to look into that a little further, but I don't remember ever seeing something like that.
The S9, or what do you call it?
The S9 is an actual combination embroidery and sewing machine.
But they have small hoops.
Yeah.
On that one.
Okay, Margaret, thanks for joining us. Bye-bye. And hello, Fidel. Yeah, you're late. You're always late, Fidel.
That's okay.
Yeah, it's okay. Trace says, I just learned my Janome 15,000 has free arm embroidery too.
Well, how long have you?
Yeah.
That's part of the features of the 15,000 is that it has an embroidery module.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, Tracy, not to seem picky, but there's no such thing as free arm embroidery.
No.
It's free. Okay, you guys have got me confused on your terminology.
No, it's free arm. I think she's talking about that, the embroidery unit.
Yeah.
That you had.
Yeah.
That's not free arm. That's just an embroidery unit.
Yeah. I don't think that's what she's talking about.
No.
M says you can change the knee lift to control the width. Yes, I know that. I've never used that. But it's free arm embroidery, maybe thread painting. Don't have a clue really. Okay, there's so many terms here. So I'm sorry, I don't want to say that anybody's wrong, but here's what I know. The Janome S7, I have it, does not have anything on it called freehand embroidery function. It does have the ability to use the knee press to allow you to use some of the decorative stitches in that and make them wider or make them, it does something with them. But that's not what I would refer to as free arm embroidery. Free arm embroidery, I have never heard that term until today.
So I'd have to look it up.
I'd have to look that one up because I have never heard that, and I had a 15,000. It has an embroidery unit. There's free motion facility on it. A free arm is often what they call the part when you can remove a section of your table so that if you need to sew something that, like say a sleeve or something that's, or a tube, you can get in there and move it around easier. Tracy says free arm like a multi-needle. Huh? M's not talking about free motion.
Tracy Williams says you can remove the bed and
put a sleeve
over it to embroider it.
Doesn't have to be a flat piece of fabric.
However, you still have to, if you're using embroidery, if you're using the embroidery function of the machine, you still have to put a hoop on it.
Yeah, you still have to have a hoop on it.
So,
yeah, So that won't work on the 15,000 because the 15,000 does not have a free arm.
Yes, it does.
Does it?
It had a free arm.
Did it have a free arm?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it did. Yeah, because that's right, it did. I'm really confused now with the terminology because
We'll have to look it up.
we'll have to look that up and do some investigation because this is news to me.
This is a new concept for
New
us.
concept for us. I just read the instructions on Print Treasures inkjet printable fabric and say to allow the ink to dry 1 minute, then rinse in cold water, then dry before sewing. And that's on their printable fabric. Oh, okay.
Okay. Billy says freehand embroidery is like thread painting. It just takes talent to freehand embroider. It's like doing painting with thread. Yeah, like we've seen those Indian videos. Like
yes, yeah,
online where they take a standard sewing machine and they can manipulate it in such a way that they get embroidery looking patterns from it. That's a freehand type, I guess.
Okay.
Embroidery.
Okay, that
No, we're not doing that.
I'm not getting that. No. Angel says sleeve comment in there. That was subliminal for Walter to finish the shirt. Yeah, exactly. I've had it. Trace says I've had it 3 years. Just learned this feature. Yes, still uses the hoop. Well, I didn't know you could do that, and I don't have mine anymore. You had any problems with it, Tracy? Probably not.
Probably
with
not.
Your machine.
It's
I got a lemon. Anita says, got to go check on something. Be back in a minute. Well, no, Anita, you cannot be. I am sorry. Anita, you just sit in that chair and you stare at that screen.
You didn't have to tell us. You could have just done. It's not like we're watching you.
Kathleen says, just Googled it. I saw free arm Janome embroidered hoops. What is an embroidery free arm? That's what I'm wondering. Well, we're going to have to Google.
We're going to have to investigate
We'll have to investigate that. Some people call it Irish embroidery, Em says. Mark says they use 200 thread Prima cotton.
Yeah, we'll have to investigate.
Okay, you guys have just opened up a whole new world here because I have not, this is all foreign to me. I did not know about this stuff. So I'm going to have to check out terminology and whatnot because this is the first time hearing it. Trace says, no problem so far, knock wood. Well, good. I'm glad to hear because, oh my God, the problems that I had. That's why I have the 550E now. I got rid of the 15,000. But anyways, I'm not going to get into that because that one, I've killed that topic many times over. So what else was, well, we were supposed to go to a housewarming party. Well, actually, we were throwing it at our friend's, a friend that was moving into his first apartment in the whole bit. And that got canceled because of the snowstorm, because he got snowed in. And ironically, they have a very long driveway in the house he's in right now, his family home. And they sold their snowblower before the season. And it was so much snow and he couldn't get through. He couldn't get his car out. And he had to shovel it all out and whatnot. And I don't think he was too impressed about shoveling. He's got some hand problems. He should have had it. He went to a doctor several years ago. And he's got something in here. I think he needs surgery to fix it.
Yeah.
I don't know what the problem is, but he won't. He called the doctor a quack and he won't go back. And so that's kind of the way he is. Anyways, so he couldn't do that for very long. And so he couldn't get out. He was going to take a load of stuff over in his car over to his new apartment because he does have possession of it now, but he hasn't got all his stuff moved in, of course. And so that put that on delay. And so he thought maybe last week was not going to be a good time for it because he wouldn't be ready. So I said, that's fine. Not to worry. Whenever you feel that you're ready, then we'll be over. So the longer it takes, the more I buy for him. Because I made him a quilt, got his cat a bag of treats and a new toy. And then I said to Walter the other day, maybe we should go over to the dollar store and pick up, some common household items that oftentimes when people move into their first place kind of a deal, you don't think of the little incidentals you need, like dish soap, tea towel, dishcloth, paper towel, plastic bags, cleaning products, things like that. So I thought maybe if we pop over to the dollar store next week and we pick up a few of these things for them and just throw it together. And then I've got a couple of placemats too. I forgot about them until the other day. I'd made these bunch of placemats when I used to belong to the guild, and then I got the boot from the guild, and so I never gave them the placemats. Yeah. And so I thought, well, they're fairly neutral in design. They're not all hearts and flowers. To be okay for a guy. So thought I'd throw those in the bag too. So yeah, the longer it takes to get to do this housework, the more stuff he gets.
Yeah.
Keep loading them up. Patsy says, I still have the 15,000, love it. It's been great. I've had it since they first came out. Well, as I said, I think I got a lemon. Actually, I had 2 lemons.
Well, actually, you used them
A lot.
and it seemed like whenever
Okay, Billy.
it
See you
seemed
later.
like when as soon as he did something in the what do you call it, the timing went out on it.
Yep.
Then and that had to be fixed. It seemed like all hell broke loose when that happened. So trick is don't do something that throws your time.
Yeah. Whatever. I don't know. I'm done with it. But I'm glad that other people, if they have them, I wasn't the only one that had problems with it. A lot of people came out of the woodwork telling me about the problems they'd had with theirs too. And then there are others who said, just like you, they've never had a problem with it.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
It's hit and miss.
It's hit and miss. Yep. There's a lady at Ultimate Sewing. She's had one since pretty much when they first came out. Uses it a lot and hasn't had any problems with it. I've talked to her about hers, so I don't know. But I'm sticking with my 550E. It's doing what I wanted to do, and I'm happy about it. And the one advantage too is, while it's embroidering, I can be sewing on the other machine, which you can't do if you've got the 2-in-1 kind of thing. Angel says, the one you made the quilt for? Yep, that's the one that I made the quilt for. He hasn't got it yet. Jenny Doan has a pieced cat on her shelf. No embroidery needed. Oh. I'll have to look into that. I should be taking notes here. Angel says, my kid forgot a pasta strainer when he moved out to college. Oh, okay. Can you be sure? Anybody who joins in on Idiot Quilter or Craft and Chat Days, that's kind of like a little guild. And speaking of which, before I forget, we're getting close to the end of January, so that means February is coming up. And the first Wednesday of February is actually February the 2nd. So the next Craft and Chat will be a week from this coming Wednesday. I will be posting this week the link to that, and all are welcome as usual. And those of you that are on my mailing list, you will get your personalized invitation for it. And anybody else that wants to be on the mailing list for it as well, if you don't want to have to go back and find one of my videos and find the connection, the Zoom link, then just drop me an email and I'll put you on the mailing list, and you'll get it to your mailbox, so you won't have to go hunting for it.
I don't know what he will actually have in the apartment. He's moving from a house to the apartment where he's lived in all his life, so I imagine he's taking a lot of the stuff that's in the house.
Yeah, he was ransacking it.
Because his dad moved into a retirement home, so a lot of the stuff that he can use or that's in the house is probably like, it's not like his dad's taking any of that stuff. So he should probably have a lot of stuff that are basic things to begin with, but he may not have thought of like other little things to get.
I mean, yeah, and you can always use cleaning products and things like that. You can always use tea towels. You can always use, dishcloths, things like that. So they won't come amiss, kind of thing. That's
we're not talking about a 20-year-old guy that's moving out.
No, he's in his mid-40s, So, Andy says, when my son moved into his apartment, I outfitted his kitchen. Also, get your friend food storage containers and can opener. All the non-glamour stuff will really help him. Actually, the food storage containers is a good idea. But what I figured on doing is just going over to the dollar store and just walking up and down the aisle. And if I see something of interest, I'll put it in my cart.
And the dollar stores we're talking about, we're probably going to Dollarama.
Yeah.
And it's usually a little bit more than $1, but actually it's usually fairly economical. So.
Oh. Okay, I don't think that's somebody on here. That's on Instagram. Anyways, yeah, so Yeah, and now Patsy says, I've read a lot on Facebook about people having problems with their 15,000, but also with the M7. There can always be lemons. Yeah, for sure. Now, my M7, knock wood, haven't had a problem with it. It's been working just absolutely fine. And, I sew every day. So, but, and I did this on the last Idiot Quilter. I said, the one thing that's going to screw up a machine is a dirty machine. You've got to clean your machine. And the number of people who do not do that, you have to. I clean it after every major project. Everyone. I cleaned mine out this morning, and all I had done since the last time I cleaned that out was bind. I put the borders on that quilt I showed you, and I bound it. And then I made that table runner, and I did quilt it on that machine as well. And you wouldn't believe the fluff that was in there. Okay, there's another Russian. Which I'm sorry, maybe they're legit, but if you don't speak English on here, how do I know? Sister 19, laugh out loud online. No, that doesn't make sense to me. So, bye-bye. So anyways, my M7 has been working fine. I love that machine. That wasn't the one I was going to buy when I was trading in the 15,000. I was going to get the 550E, and I was looking at
the 9450.
Yeah, the 9450, which is also a really good machine. I actually had poo-pawed the M7 because I thought there was stuff on there that I would never use, and actually there is. It has this whole thing. They advertise it as showing you how to do quilt blocks. Well, no.
I talked him into the M7 because
yeah, he did.
Because I said to him, you do mostly quilting on it. That's before you add the long arm. Yeah. And it has a really, really deep throat. Yeah. So it has a 13-inch throat.
And so I don't resent buying it. I love the M7. I really do.
And I think the 9450 would have been I think it would have been okay machine too. Yeah. It's just that I think this one would be more geared for him for quilting.
Well, Tracy says Genomi's a great brand no matter the model. Yeah, I would agree with you, Tracy, but I have nothing to compare it to because all we have is Genomi products because we have a Genomi dealer. Surely.
Yeah. I mean, I've got the 6700. I use it all the time. I really like it. But like Steve said, you really got to keep it clean. Not that mine doesn't. Actually, mine will still. I don't know if mine will stitch well if it's dirty because it's always clean. But the fellow that teached the classes that I was going to, he has a Genomi Skyline 5. And he said a little while ago, oh, my Skyline 5's not stitching very well. And I said to him, and he took it in for service. And I said to him, well, when's the last time you cleaned it? He goes, oh, not for a while. And then basically took it into where we take ours into. And he said that when they went in for repair, they had just told him that you obviously don't clean your machine very often. And that was all that was wrong with it.
Margaret, you may have typed in my name wrong. Here's the actual address again. Try again. And if you left the N off of Stephen, it won't go through to me. So it shouldn't have bounced back to you. There shouldn't have been any problem. So just give that a try again. And if it is a problem, let me know. And then you can just give me your email address on here if you don't mind doing it that way. I was backing up here. How much research? Edie says, how much research did you do before you bought your sewing machines? I'm fairly new to sewing, so any advice would be great. Well,
actually, what happens is when you bought your first one, which was the 6700, which I did, yeah. I have, and we didn't really do a lot of research. One of the things is that my sister was into heavy duty sewing, and she always used pretty much Genomi machines. And we were at this Genomi dealer in Oshawa, and I guess we just sort of semi-picked the Genomi brand because we were familiar sort of with it, but not that familiar with it. So the lady showed you the 6700P, and you bought that one first.
Yeah.
And then as time went on,
And the lady was sure.
we researched what other types of machines are in the Janome lineup, and then you really wanted the 15,000, so you ended up buying the 15,000 because of its features. And then when you were having problems with the 15,000, you had decided to go with one of the other machines that were available in the Janome line. So we didn't do a lot of research.
Well,
we didn't do a lot of research among the brands or anything.
We didn't do a lot of research at the very beginning of when I bought the machine because we didn't know anything when I got the 6700P. But on the next machines, you started to do research on them and look into them. But as Walter said, our dealer is a Janome dealer. We don't have really any of the, like, we don't have a Bernina.
Well, there is a Bernina dealer in Pickering.
Yeah.
But other than that, there's no dealers around here that do Husqvarna. There's no dealers around here that do FAF in our local area. So there may be some in Toronto, but we don't go there. There's no dealers that do baby lock. There's very few dealers in Canada anyway. There are very few dealers that deal with Brother. So there's a lot more places that deal with Janome. So we've always gone with the Janome brand.
So yeah, so really it's the only brand we know. Now, M says Bernina sometimes is just so dreamy though. I've heard good things about Bernina machines.
And I've looked at them.
Yeah.
But I'm happy with the 6700P, so
and I'm happy with my M7.
I have no real desire to get anything else. So, and I also have one of the 550E embroidery machines. So, and it works fine too. So, I don't know.
I know baby locks, Angels, are very, very popular in the States. But like Walter said, we do not have baby lock dealers in Canada. Not very many, especially.
Not very many,
and
no.
in our area, in our province, actually, I can't think of anybody that advertises baby locks from it. So for whatever reason. And again, the Bernina, there is a dealer in Pickering, but
there's a few dealers around that of the two, Janome and Bernina, there are some dealers around here that are also Bernina, but we've never really looked into the Bernina brand. I've seen the machines, they look nice and everything, but I haven't had any real major desire to switch. So
okay, so Adrian says she has a baby lock embroidery machine and loves it, and also has a Janome 8900. But she says she took her surgery in for service once, and the dealer found 20 plus stink bugs in it.
Well, there's stink bugs. There's something called stink bugs in the wherever.
Oh yeah.
I don't know what they actually are. We don't have them here in Canada. I don't think.
I don't know unless we call them something else. How the heck did your sewing machine get infested with bugs? What are you doing? Sewing in the woods? What? Marlene says she has 2 Janome machines and a Juki for my go-to class. Love them all. Yeah, the Juki is another one that it's more popular in the United States. You don't see Jukis a lot here.
In our area, in our Oshawa area, where we have, I think there might be more in Toronto area, but Toronto's far enough away that where it's only half an hour to 45 minutes away, but I don't want to have to drive all the way into Toronto for having to look at something.
Yeah. Tracy says Janome machines are user-friendly too. And Teresa says, I think Janome gives you more for your money. Most come with a ton of accessories that other brands charge extra for. Bernina lovers are brand loyal for life with good reason. I can't afford to. Yeah. I know if someone has a Bernina, it's like a cult. Like there is no other sewing machine or has there ever been another sewing machine on the face of the planet. There is a gentleman I know that lives in Holland, but he's on the Quilter's Way, and he swears by his Bernina. He loves it. Barb says in Calgary they have 2 baby lock dealers. Okay. If they don't have stink bugs in Canada, you're so lucky. Well, maybe we have the equivalent, but we don't call them stink bugs. I don't know what those would be. Stink bugs stink when you squash them.
I don't think we have them.
I don't think we have those. Of course, I haven't gone out and stomped on bugs in a while, but A suggestion: if someone is new to sewing and not wanting to spend a ton of money, they may want to look at used sewing machines per pre-mid 70s.
Yeah, they probably were better then.
Yeah, that's true. Um, it's like whatever. I think the one thing that determines if you're getting into sewing, then I would suggest, and we've said this before, go to somebody that's a local dealer that sells the machines, services the machines, and is not a used car salesman type approach for you. That's why we're so lucky to be with Shirley. Because she knows what she's talking about. She services the machines pretty much on site. And she doesn't try to force anything down your throat that she tries to match the machine up with your needs. When I went in to get the first sewing machine, I told her what my budget was and I told her what I want to do with it. And she showed me several models and she told me why other ones would probably not be what I would want. And she did not force sell anything on me. She just told me what she thought, what she would recommend for my needs. And, and she did not steer me wrong. I can tell you that.
M says, do you care about where the machine is made? Because some of your Genomes are made in Taiwan. No, actually, I don't really care. I figure a company has quality control.
Yeah.
So
most things are not made here.
Yeah, most things are made all over the place.
Japan, China, Taiwan, Korea,
Mexico.
Yeah.
There's companies make things all over the world. So
yeah. I mean, there was a day and an age when people used to get really upset. Maybe some people still do because something said made in Japan or made in China or made in Korea or something like that and figure, oh, it's cheap quality. I don't think that's true anymore. Because most of these manufacturers here, they go over to those other countries because the labor is cheaper. They don't make them here on our own turf because it's too expensive. With labor costs and taxes and tariffs and everything like that. So, I mean, there are some things that are made, in other countries that they show up in the dollar stores and they're going to be cheap because you're buying them in a dollar store, that kind of thing. But sewing machines, televisions, things like that, they're all made there and, they make good quality products too. I mean, go with a brand name. If you're going with something you've never heard of before, I don't know. I mean,
Genome's a Japanese company, but obviously it's too expensive to manufacture in Japan, so they manufacture in other countries. So
yeah,
but that's true with a lot of things. Like, I mean, if you buy like an iPhone or a cell phone, many of the parts are manufactured all over the Orient. So, like,
yeah. Karen says, I'm still fairly loyal to Singer, but the best machine I ever had was a Huska. I mean, Husky or Husqvarna?
Husqvarna, probably. Singer and Husqvarna are manufactured by the same company right now.
Yeah. Well, yeah, Elna is manufactured by Genome.
Yeah.
So that's the other thing, too. These sewing machines, they may have different names, but a lot of them are made by the same company. Jan's sewing machine.
I have a Elna air thread machine, but it's the same as the Genome Air 2000 machine. So
yeah, Jan's sewing machine warehouse in Winnipeg sell Juki. They have excellent service and really good prices. I use Juki 2200 harp size 9 inches for piecing and quilting. Totally mechanical. Yeah. Well, you see, as long as it's in your area,
it's whatever you
fine.
get used to, and we happen to be used to Genome, but if you happen to like Juki or Bernina or something else, that's up to you.
Well, you notice here that nobody on here is saying that they actually have a Bernina, because if they did, they would be saying
somebody did on here.
Oh, who's got the Bernina?
I can't remember. Somebody put it up there a little while ago that she loved their Bernina.
Oh, okay. Because the one thing I find with Bernina, their owners, they are extremely loyal, and it's like there are no other sewing machines on the market. It's only Bernina. So, which makes me really, want to check them out a little bit more.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tracy says, just clean your machines off and you'll be happier. Yep. 9 times out of 10, the problem you're having is because you get a dirty machine. Fidel says, I have 2 Genomis, one computerized industrial straight stitch and one 5-thread industrial serger. My favorite, it's the Genomi 15,000. Yeah, and you're another one that hasn't had any problems with it either. So just my luck. Just my luck. When it was working, I loved that machine. But
actually, when you used it for sewing, you didn't have that much trouble with the sewing part.
no, it was the embroidery
part that you had a lot of
Yeah.
problems with.
And no, it wasn't my fault. Okay, I know what I was doing.
It's Marilyn. Yeah, she has the Bernina.
Oh, okay. I have a Bernina, but I don't want to admit it to start an argument. No arguments. Whatever you get used to, whatever you like.
We know other people that are dedicated Bernina followers. So
I am not a fanatic Janome user, although everything I own is Janome. And again, what I am fanatic about is my dealer. My dealer is excellent. That's why she has always supported me, always helped me out with it, and that's why I'm impressed with Janome. But what I'm not impressed about Janome, and this could be the other manufacturers as well, you cannot ever send an email, if you can find an email address, to Janome's head office and ask them a question or complain about anything. They have one line only. See your dealer. And that annoys me to no end. And they will not budge from that every time. They even say that when there's something I subscribe to called Janome Life, which is there's a Facebook group and it's a newsletter and stuff. And even the guy, the guy who is the head of the education section for, I don't know if he's for all of Canada or just Ontario, but whatever. He's got
for the
eastern area of Canada. Yeah, he talks about all the accessories and different things and the different machines, and he always says, see your dealer. He will never tell you a price. Well, that's because dealers have a little bit of they can play with the pricing
there's what do you call it, there's the list price and then the price that dealers will actually charge for them, so which is lower than the list price. So
yeah, Teresa says, I belong to a lot of bag making groups, and Juki seems to be the go-to for an industrial machine. However, there are a lot of clones that are more economical. I got a Jack from a dealer in Brampton.
Now, see, I've never heard of Jack.
Yep, I've never heard of it.
Until you mentioned it.
Yeah.
You mentioned it in a previous video, but I had never really heard of a Jack before. So, and Juki seems to be popular for an industrial machine, and bags can be difficult to sew because they're thick material and everything.
So that's well, again, you have to assess. Who was asking about just getting into this and what to look for in sewing machines? That's one thing. What are you going to do with it?
I mean, if you can find yourself a decent dealer somewhere, even one that has more than one kind of machine, you have to go in with an idea how much you want to spend and what you want to use it for.
Yeah, Karen's got a Bernina embroidery machine, 2 singers, an old Kenmore. Do you realize that Kenmore is Janome?
Most of them were Janome, not all of them.
Oh, okay. And who knows who made it? And my Husky. Yes, it's my Husqvarna. Okay.
A lot of the Kenmores were made by Janome. In fact, I have one that's in the crawl space. That's my mother's. As an old Kenmore, but it's actually a Janome. Okay. So
Fidel has a Jack too. Oh, all you people with Jacks. M says, that's the part I hate about sewing industry, not being transparent. Yeah, but it's like everything you buy, it's, again, I go back. You need a good dealer.
Like, I mean, the last LG TV I bought was made in Mexico, so.
Yeah. But anyway, Jack machines are the same as Juki. I think they're made in Korea. I looked on Amazon and got it cheaper from the dealer. Oh, okay.
It may be possible that that's exactly true because there's a lot of like, even if you go to Janome makes most of their sewing machines as far as I know. But if you go to their long arm, you get their long arm machine, it's made by Quilter.
Yeah.
And they do have some other things, like if you go and buy Janome software for embroidery to create embroidery designs, artistic digitizer, it's actually made by a company called Draw Stitch. It's Janome doesn't make it.
Yeah.
Janome just gets a license from the company called Draw Stitch. A
Well,
lot of these offshoot things that these manufacturers do are not are made by other companies that it's easier to do. If you get a high-end baby lock embroidery machine, one of their really fancy ones, the really high-end ones, they're actually made by Brother.
yeah, well, Marlene says my Genomes are 9,000 and 50,000. I'll also have a Genome serger. Yeah, I have a Genome serger. Walter has an Elna serger, which is by Genome, and he has
But it's
Genome.
exactly the same as the air thread. In fact, we were told that the Elna serger is identical to the Genome serger. So.
Yeah, so and Walter also has a Genome cover stitch machine as well. So we're a Genome family. Yeah. Angel, what is the beer of the day? Well, I'm drinking my usual Guinness.
And I'm drinking my usual Kilkenny.
But you bought something different the other day.
Yeah, I did, but I wasn't sure if I was going to like it.
Yeah. Barb says, Tiffany on Tiffany's Quilting Life showed last week her Juki sewing through 16 layers on fabric. Yeah, I know. Juki is famous for, being like as an industrial machine and being able to handle, layers of stuff and leather and things like that with it. Juki's has a pretty good name, but again, that's something that isn't widespread here in Canada. It's easier to
widespread, actually, not necessarily in Canada, in our area.
Well, in Ontario, in our area, yeah.
Well, our area of Ontario.
Well, yeah, okay, fine. Like I stand corrected.
Well, I don't know. Maybe if you go into Toronto, there's a Juki dealer.
Well, maybe. I guess I never rather looked into it. So that's a possibility. Maybe it is so. But anyways, yeah. So what else? Well, what do we got coming up this week? Walter's birthday is on Thursday. So, yay. Have you played with your vise much that I got you for your birthday? Oh, yeah, of course. That's typical.
It's a device that I use on an as-needed basis.
Oh, yeah, like
and usually when I need it, it's not working properly.
And have you tried your drill press that I got you?
No, I haven't, but that's an as-needed basis as well.
Uh-huh. You're like my grandmother was. You give her a birthday present, Christmas present, and 30 years later, my parents found them still in the original wrapping, all the stuff that they'd given.
But it's not something that I just run around and use all the time.
Well, my grandmother's was. It was underwear, but I mean, something. Old lady gotchis. Brother and Baby Lock, Angel says, are not the same company. However, Baby Lock does have manufacturing agreement with Brother.
Yeah, you're right. I don't think they're the same company, but I do know that the very high-end embroidery machines from Baby Lock are actually Brother machines. So.
Okay, do you two want to fight it out?
No.
In my area, it's tough getting anyone to work on them. Oh, okay, the Juki. Tracy's daughters has same birthday as you do. Yeah, guess how old Walter is? Put your guess in the comments section.
I'm not old enough to collect old age security.
Teresa says, I was concerned about whether my jack would handle today's project. It went through 12 layers of waterproof canvas without a problem. Wow. I've also used it for some garment weight leather.
Okay,
Teresa's sewing leather. Ooh, Teresa, you kinky girl, you. A little dominatrix here, I think. Yeah. Laura says 61. Don't say anything. Okay, we'll see what other guesses we get. I say he doesn't look a day under 90, but Barb says 66.
We collect old age security here when you're 65.
Okay, why don't you just tell them how old you're going to be? No. Yes, Karen, you're right. You're the first one. 64. He will be 64. Yep. And I'd be more than happy, if you don't believe me, to cut off his leg and count the rings for you. Right here on camera. Yep, he's 64. Edie, 25. Oh, you're just buttering him up now, Edie. Old enough to know better.
If I was 25, I'd be a lot skinnier.
Yeah, you were. We were both
old enough to know better.
Yeah.
No, I'm not old enough to know better.
No. He's with me. I've only had Baby Lock machines, Margaret says, which I love. My latest machine is called
the Area.
Ooh, seen that one. They look like nice machines, the Baby Locks. That's for sure. It's just, I I don't think I've ever seen one in person.
The lady that used to have the store up north here, can't remember what it
Oh,
was called.
yeah, the so something. Yeah.
She used to have baby locks in her store.
Oh,
But she had a baby lock in her store. But she
well,
had a couple of variety of machines.
I only ever went into her store about
Yeah.
twice.
But
Yeah.
she closed down.
Yeah,
So,
well, she passed away, actually.
yeah.
Is what happened. She had cancer. 25 with 39 years of experience. Yeah. Well, that would only make him 50. Wait. No, that's right. Yep, the math works. Old enough to care, but too young to care. Yeah, true. But anyway, so we're having dinner in that night because, well, can't have it out. Yeah.
Yeah, all our restaurants, indoor dining are closed down. So,
yeah, so yeah, I'm cooking for him. I don't think he's excited about that, but too bad. I'm doing my signature dish, veal piccata. You always like that,
mhm.
with a nice salad, and I still think we should buy a dessert. Not much of a baker. Whatever. Well, I used to before I met Walter, and then I got told I was doing it wrong, so I don't do that. Marlene says old age security is just enough to screw up your income tax. Yeah, and your pension. I wonder if Bernina dealers
Not
have to be
necessarily for
exclusive.
me, because when I turn 65, I lose the bridge benefit on my pension plan. So,
Yeah, okay, well. Patsy says, what you having, hot dogs? Well, that'd be okay. Yeah. Are you going to bake a cake? No.
we're gonna have fancy hot dogs.
Yeah, it's veal piccata with that. We can have what?
Fancy hot dogs.
Fancy hot dogs. What, you mean instead of ketchup, HP sauce?
Yeah.
But yeah, okay, Barb. Very funny. Don't make Dutch pancakes. No. But I can make crepes. I proved that. I showed you on a video. I can make crepes. The Dutch things, well, it's because he doesn't always tell you everything about how to do them either. He likes to leave out something and then blame it on you for not making it right. And then he says, well, I told you to put that in. Yeah. I'm on my 56th anniversary of my 21st birthday. Oh, you're only as old as you
Yeah,
feel,
I know.
Karen.
When you're young, you're just waiting to get to
Yeah.
that age where you can do stuff, and now you're just hoping you'll last.
Yeah. You know, everything seems to be out in Alberta. They seem to have the most quilt stores out there, and they seem to have the most sewing machine dealers too. Glenna says they have a very nice baby lock dealer in St. Louis. However, there's a Janome dealer within 2 miles of me, and I bought my 6700P. Okay. Yeah. Well, they're everywhere.
Well, the problem is in the U.S. you have so much population there that you tend to have more dealers than what we have up here.
And they were good, Laura, if I do say so myself. And he liked them, so he said. Yeah. And I know he wasn't lying, because when he says they're good, that means they're good. If he says they're fine, that means don't do that again. Kind of like the Mexican lasagna we made.
You made.
I made. Well, okay, fine. All right. So I was looking for something a little different. So I found this recipe for something they called Mexican lasagna. And it called for some cinnamon in it, which I thought was a little weird in a lasagna, but it already had sort of like a chili base to it as well. So I thought, well, what the heck? I don't mind cinnamon, so I'll give it a shot. Okay. Not good. And then I found out, well, I didn't find out. Walter did some research, and what the recipe did not say was that there is a difference between cinnamon and Mexican cinnamon. And it just says use cinnamon. So I used what we usually have here. I didn't know there was such a thing as Mexican. So Fidel, are you still on here? What's this with Mexican cinnamon?
And I read somewhere that Mexican cinnamon is a much milder flavor. So,
well, this was gross, but I had made 2 pans of it. And I made 2 because one I was going to freeze, and, we'd heat it up for another time. Well, we heated it up yesterday. Actually, we took it out of the freezer, thawed it out, and then threw it out. We could not handle the cinnamon in it. It just, nope, it was not right. So I don't know where you get Mexican cinnamon. Maybe you can get it at the bulk barn. I don't know,
I
or
don't know.
something.
I haven't really
I've
looked
never
for
heard
it.
of it before, but I don't know if I'd make that recipe again. Well, I could make.
You
I
can
would
make
make
it
the
again,
recipe and
just
just not
leave
put
the
a
cinnamon
cinnamon
in
out.
it.
Yeah. No, what? No shrimp on the Barbie?
No.
No, and besides, we wouldn't have it on Barbie. No,
Yeah.
Ken?
He
Yeah,
said
it's
Gazelle
milder.
said it's milder.
So, anyways, that one was a little disaster. I was trying to make something a little different, and it was a little different, but it wasn't a little different in a
A little
positive way.
different in a negative way.
Yeah. So, anyways, I have got an interview. Well, I'm doing an interview. You know how I was doing for the Idiot Quilter Presents interviews, and well, I ran out of people to interview because no one else was volunteering. Well, I got one. She's in Scotland. She contacted me. Now, she's got a YouTube channel, and I'll be talking about it when I post that interview. I'm doing the interview tomorrow at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. It's about 8 o'clock in the evening for her. And her website or her YouTube channel is called Scrap Fabric Love. And yeah, I'm looking forward to it. And she also said a good friend of hers, Tom. Well, Tom is, I don't know if you've heard of this guy. I think I may have reviewed his YouTube channel once as well. Karen Brown of Just Get It Done Quilts interviewed him a while back. The colorblind quilter, because the guy's actually colorblind. And he talks about how he picks colors and how he does that for making his quilts and things like that. But apparently they were looking for male quilters online and came across my YouTube channel. And she had seen the interviews and that, so she said she'd be more than happy to, you know, be one of my interviewee victims. And I said, great. So we set that up. And she says, Tom said he would do it too. She'd let him know. So I said, okay, great. So maybe I've got another one in the can later on too. So that would be kind of nice because I'm running out of things to do a rant on. So if any of you guys, and some of you on here, I have interviewed you already, but others, you know, you don't have to be special. Like you don't have to have a business or anything like that. I just want ordinary people to talk to. So think about it, people.
I mean, that's the best way you find new ideas or things from is anybody, everybody that has that works on quilts or whatever has an opinion, and that's how you get new ideas.
Yeah. I mean, the interviews that I have done so far to date, they've all been great. The people that I interviewed, they had so much to tell me about things, which is, you know, everybody does. And none of them are big names out there. A couple of them have a YouTube channel, but really they're like me, just small potatoes. So, yeah. Hey, Tracy, maybe you'd like to be interviewed. Or Billy, or Angel, or Barb, or I did Adrian already. Glenna, you know. Yeah. My mama always said I was special anyway. Prove it. Let me interview you. Okay. So if you're interested, you just drop me an email and go from there. I promise I won't bite much with it. I'll make you look really good. Okay. So don't be worried about it. Now, you may have noticed that, and we never get to the topic of the week, that I put in the caption or in the title, Death at the Canadian Border. So I don't know how many of you heard about this, but apparently there was a family of people trying to cross into Canada from the United States out in the western part of the area where you can actually, there are spots there where you can sort of walk across the border. It's not easy to do that in Ontario because you have to be able to swim to do that. You have to go over several bridges. But out west, apparently you can do that. Well, it's not really warm out west right now. And I guess they were being, actually they were, what do they call those? This guy was trafficking them.
Yeah.
They paid him a price to get into Canada. And he sort of let them out several miles, like quite a few miles away from the border. And they were on their own. And it was snowing, it was blowing, it was icy.
It was cold.
They had a baby with them.
And they basically froze to death.
They froze to death. They froze to death. I think there was only one kid left when the cops or that found them. The border guards got them. I mean, yeah, it was at the base of Manitoba. I think. Like, okay, there's so many things wrong with this in North America. Okay. One, people don't need to sneak across our border to get into Canada. We're a very open country in many ways. And if you're in such a desperate situation, and maybe they were illegal immigrants in the United States.
I think a lot of them, what happens is they're on the list to be deported.
Yeah.
And so they get desperate and they
So
want to try somewhere else.
they could have come across the border, like in a car or something.
Well, no, I don't think they can.
Oh, I suppose they check their thing. But I mean, claim asylum or something. You know, go to the Canadian embassy.
You have to be pretty desperate to do what they did. So.
Yeah, to do that kind of thing. And to think that there are people, you hear about this trafficking and these immigrant
people
brokers
taking advantage of people.
But usually they're coming from, you know, the other side of the world, and they're on small boats that sink and things like that. You don't really think about it happening here at home.
Yeah.
With that. So yeah, very, very awful. And just, you know, and then I think about those poor people, how desperate they must have been to get, like, what were they trying to get away from? How bad were their lives? I mean, that's just so sad on so many levels. And, you know, it makes me think that we as a Canadian, as a country, should probably be doing even more for people like that. Like, okay, we complain in this country sometimes when things aren't going well, that we've allowed too many people come into our country that come from different cultures, and we allow them to maintain their cultural heritage. And we're very proud of that fact in Canada, that we have such a mosaic. You know, we're not a melting pot, we're a mosaic. But then that's on a good day. On a bad day, it's easy enough to blame these people when you see them out rallying for something that's going on in their home country that has nothing to do really with our country, and yet they're demanding that our Canadian government do something about it. And I have mixed feelings about that because, you know, I think charity starts at home too. We have a lot of problems amongst people, Canadian citizens, that need a lot of help from our government, you know, for a variety of reasons as well. I mean, we're sending money over to a war-torn country, and I feel sorry for those people that they live there, and this is what they're going through. But I don't know how much money we have in this country. I mean, they're sending 1 point something million to, or not 1 point, something like, you know, 128 million or something to someplace. Where is it they're sending it to?
I'm not sure. You're the one.
Well, they're never going to get it back. There's no way. I mean, our government is constantly complaining that they have such a bad deficit, and, you know, even worse now with COVID and everything, with all the different plans that they've put out for money to help, you know, small businesses and citizens and things like that. And then we drop another. But where does this money come from? Do they just print it and just send it?
No,
what? I don't know.
It comes from us. It's our tax.
I know it's our tax money, but, you know, but then they raise our taxes.
Yeah, wow.
So I don't know with it, but I just thought that was such a sad story that those poor people, you know, basically froze to death. Look how the Canadian government opened their arms to those from, I think, Turkey, and paid them for 2 years. Yeah, and Syria and everything like that. Compassionate humanitarian responsibility.
You think there would have been a better way for these people that were crossing the border to get across than the way they did, but I think they got sucked in by this trafficker or whatever.
And the other thing that comes across our border all the time is guns. And
we can go on for days.
Yeah, I know. What's your point?
I meant you can go on for days.
Well, you said it in such a sarcastic and belligerent way.
I know, but you're bringing up all these topics that are long, big-tongued topics that you should talk about that take a long time.
Well, I was going to bring it up earlier, but we got talking about sewing machines.
Okay.
Like,
go ahead.
No, the point is lost now. It's mute. I don't want to talk about it anymore. Fine. What do you want to talk about? Let's talk about some of your bad habits. Like being a sarcastic bitch. Like, geez, if this week wasn't your birthday, I've got something for your birthday. Remember, I'm cooking your dinner. Yeah, I
Well,
can slip a few things in there,
Yeah.
or whatever. But anyways, I know. Well, the bottom line is that
I don't think people should be freezing it.
I don't think people should be freezing to death to get into our country. Well, it wasn't our country's fault. It wasn't like we barred the doors. We didn't know they were coming, kind of a thing. That is what our government printing looks of paper money, lots of paper money, which is not worth the paper. Yeah, well, that's called inflation. Or, who knows? I don't know. But anyways, it's just another thing.
Paper money, what's that? I don't know what that
I know. I haven't used that in a long. You had to use some the other day.
I had to use some the other day. I just about flipped. Actually, our money isn't Canadian money isn't paper anymore. It's plastic.
Plastic. You can wash it.
Yeah. But yeah, I went through the drive-through at Wendy's, and they said their Visa and their internet
machines were all down.
Their debit machines were all down. So I actually had to pay in cash.
Yes, Fidel, I know what you're referring to. What's the name of the old couple from the Muppets? Yeah, we've often said that we were going to do that. Make a little thing, make it look like we're sitting in a balcony, and Statler and I think it was Statler and something. I don't know. I forget the names, but yeah. What's on your 3D printer right now? Well, I just got a whole load of new filaments.
A huge gnome.
I'm making it's a gnome. I'm making another one of those gnome flower pots I showed you earlier today, but I'm making a really big one. And I'm making it out of some really cool colored filament called Steampunk Rainbow. And I love things that are steampunky.
I don't know. It looks kind of like olive green to me.
Well, they call it steampunk. Well, I don't know. Whatever. If you can't say anything nice, shut the up. Anyways, always a critic. Always a critic. My kid just walked past and said, "You guys remind him of real life Muppets, the guys from the theater." Yeah. Okay, there's a theme moving on in here. I don't mind coming here legally, but too many thieves and cutthroats. Well, that's the other thing too. Statler and Waldorf. Yeah, that's right. That's who they are. Yeah. Well, whatever. As long as it doesn't remind your son of Miss Piggy and Kermit. Oh, Kermit! Love to see it next week. Yeah, I'll show it. Don't believe me. I show you everything. I should have known what you were making. Oh, Tracy, you are so funny. Okay, on that note, things are just starting to go even further downhill than they usually do. Not really, but, well, I don't know. Depends on your point of view. Okay, guys, so just another reminder that you will see links this week in all my videos for next week's Craft and Chat. All are welcome. We have a good time. And, yeah. So that's it. We're done. Okay, thanks for joining us, everybody. We'll see you next week, if not sooner. And hope you have a good week. Hope you can stay warm if you're in a climate.
And I'll be a year older next week.
And Walter will be a year older. And I will bring his leg that I've cut off and show you the rings, so you can be sure of that. So, okay, we'll see you guys all next week.
We don't have any $1 and $2 Canadian bills.
Oh, yeah. Well, I think I've got a $2 bill in my drawer.
I do have. Actually, I have some upstairs somewhere.
Okay, so we're off. Okay, bye, everybody. See you next week.
Yeah, good night.
All right.